Enter.
Sergeant Lawrence, President of the Board.
Morris Owens. All right, go ahead and execute a right face. Go ahead and take 2 steps forward, please. Execute a left face. Execute a left face. 5 steps forward. You see that chair behind you?
Yes.
Go ahead and look over your shoulder. Yeah. Go ahead and sit down, please. Sergeant Lawrence, do you know the creed of the Knight Officer?
Yes, I do, Sergeant.
Let's hear it.
Can you please stand for the creed of non-commissioned officer? The creed of a non-commissioned officer. No one's more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. As a non-commissioned officer, I realize I am a member of a time in the Corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I am proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers and at all times conduct myself so as to bring credit upon the Corps, the military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. I will not use my grade or position to attain pleasure, profit, or personal safety. Competence is my watchword. My 2 basic responsibilities will always be uppermost in my mind: accomplishment of the mission and the welfare of my soldiers. I will strive to remain technically and tactically proficient. I'm aware of my role as a non-commissioned officer. I feel my responsibilities inherent in that role. All soldiers are taught to outstanding leadership. I will provide the leadership. I know my soldiers always place needs above my own. I'll communicate consistently with my soldiers and never leave them uninformed. I'll be fair and impartial, recommending both rewards and punishment. Officers in my unit have maximum time to accomplish their duties. They will not have to accomplish mine. I will earn their respect and confidence as well as that of my soldiers. I will be loyal to those with whom I serve, senior prisoners, subordinates alike. I will exercise initiative by taking appropriate actions in absence of orders. I will not compromise my integrity nor my moral courage. I will not forget nor allow my comrades to forget that we are professionals, non-commissioned officers, leaders.
Board members, please sit. Sergeant Lawrence, go ahead and sit down. All right, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
26 years old, been in the Army, I'm E5. I've been a non-commissioned officer. I've been in the Army approximately 6 years. I first became a non-commissioned officer in December 2016. And since then, I've been NCOIC of S6 shop. Some hobbies I like to do is I actually go to school when I'm not at work, trying to get pursue my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And also, I'm trying to have a couple kids in the future.
Nice. What's some of your maybe professional goals, short-term and long-term professional?
Some of my short-term goals professionally is to be the best at my MOS and what I do, being a 25 Uniform Support System Specialist. I'm very proficient in what I do. I'm always constantly researching what I do. One of my next goals and objectives would be to get a rocker to being staff sergeant. I've been serving the role for the past 2 years. I think I'm ready for the task and the job at hand, and I have been doing so. And ultimately, to become a better person, so to more physical fitness goals to achieve 300 on my PT scores. Another one of my goals. Long-term goals is to go the furthest my career will take me, as far as rank-wise, and ultimately become a sergeant major, and just give back to the Army and teach soldiers. I enjoy teaching young soldiers, so eventually I want to be some kind of instructor, drill sergeant, so I can teach soldiers what I know to be better than me.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get kind of the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to go ahead and start on the far end with First Sergeant Boongarden. Going to let you know kind of what he's going to be, what subjects he's covering, and then he will fire away.
All right, Sergeant Lawrence, we're going to cover leadership and land navigation. What are the manuals for Army leadership?
The manuals for Army leadership. The manuals for Army leadership is FM 6-2 First Army.
Try that again.
The Army manuals for leadership, Army leadership, is FM 6-2.
All right. Define leadership.
Leadership in my own words, First Sergeant, is provide purpose, motivation, direction to soldiers to accomplish the mission.
Okay. What are the 4 indicators of good leadership?
I'm not going to answer that question, First Sergeant.
How many human needs are there?
There are 4 human needs, First Sergeant.
What are those four human needs?
Physical needs, social needs, security needs, and spiritual needs.
Which one of those human needs is the most important?
All of them are important. So first one.
What is proficiency?
Proficiency, in my own words, is how well you do accomplish a task. Your it's almost like consistency. It's how well you can do your task, doing your task well.
In the land navigation here. What document covers map reading and land navigation?
The document that covers land nav and navigation and what was it?
Map reading.
And map reading is AR 3-25.26, first one.
Is it there?
Correction, FM 3-25.26.
Right. What is a map?
A map is a graphic representation of the Earth drawn on a scale that's seen from above.
Name some types of compasses.
Some types of compasses are lensatic compass, artillery compass, a pocket watch, or a wristwatch compass, and a protractor, first arm.
What are the two most common compasses used in the Army?
Lensatic and artillery, first arm.
Describe the fastest way to orient a map.
Fastest way to orient the map is to put the compass on it and align compass and look at it pointing north and aligning grid lines with it, first arm.
How would you orient a map without a compass?
Without a compass, you will find the known objects on the map and orient the map versus the known objects that you know on the map.
Can you name the quadrants of a map?
The quadrants of the map are as follows: northeast, southwest, northeast, southeast. Correction. Northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. First one.
That's all the questions I have for you.
All right, first one, Wade.
Cool. How you doing, so long?
That's one first one.
Amazing. I'm gonna be covering training units and developing leaders. It's gonna be ADP, EDPR 7.0, NCOERs. First question is, what does ADP 7.0 cover?
ADP 7.0 is training leaders and training units and developing leaders.
What are the three training domains that the Army uses?
The three training domains the Army uses is institutional, operational, and self-development.
Why do units train?
Units train to accomplish the mission and to adapt to things that may change as far as the operational science goes.
Who are the primary trainers of enlisted soldiers, crews, and small teams?
The primary trainers of this soldier crews and small teams are non-commissioned officers, first sergeant.
What is the DA Form 1059?
DA Form 1059 is a school's evaluation form, first sergeant.
When should the rated soldier be provided a copy of his or her raters, senior raters, support forms?
As soon as it's filled out,
Sure.
prior to the first one. Or when it's time for evals. Whenever they want to see it, basically. Because it's a thing that should be getting filled out periodically.
What does the ERS identify?
Evaluation and reporting system, what is identified?
Right.
In my own words, it identifies personnel within the Army, namely non-commissioned officers and officers alike. Identifies them based off their qualities, their proficiencies, and their MOS, and their to ultimately know their capabilities for future job assignments, ultimately.
What three things should be considered when preparing an evaluation report?
What do things should be considered when preparing an evaluation report? The rater should be considered, the time should be considered, and actually the support form should be considered. So, so basically, everything that entails writing a NCR. First one.
That's all I have.
All right. Sergeant Bradshaw.
How you doing, Sergeant Lawrence?
How's it going, First Sergeant?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna be going over Army programs and the uniform, wear and appearance of the military uniform. All right, so the first question is kind of a combination question. So what are the three types of financial assistance given by AER?
3 types of financial assistance given by AER. You said that's a 2-part question?
Kinda, yeah. Well, this one is it just has the 3 parts and then a follow-on question for it, so.
Okay. And can you repeat the question first, Sergeant?
What are the 3 types of financial assistance given by AER?
It's only, to my understanding, there's only one type of assistance given to by AER financially, which is a loan or a grant. A loan or a grant.
Okay. Who's eligible to receive services through ACS?
Active duty military personnel, National Guard personnel on active orders, National Guard reservists on orders, military spouses, that has, that has active duty personnel that has been on orders who has been, like killed national or anything like that. I've access to AERs also.
Okay. What Army regulation covers ACS?
The Army regulation that covers ACS is AR 608-1.
So what does AER stand for?
Army Emergency Relief.
And what regulation covers AER?
The AR that covers Army Emergency Relief is AR 930-4.
Okay. Alright, so failure to repay an AER loan will cause the soldier's name to be placed on an AER restricted list, which is disseminated Army-wide. What does this mean for that soldier?
I'm not familiar with that question. I don't know the answer to that question for Sergeant.
Alright. So here's another one. So moving into sexual assault, what, more than half of sexual assault offenses include what?
Alcohol
Okay.
for Sergeant.
What Army regulation covers the total Army sponsorship program?
The total Army sponsorship program, AR 280-10 for Sergeant.
I'll try it again.
AR 380-10 for Sergeant.
And what DA form is used to transmit sponsorship requirements to gaining commands?
DA form 5434.
Okay. And how soon after the DA form 5434 is received should a sponsor be assigned?
Immediately.
Move on to uniforms. When is the only time that commercially designed protective headgear is authorized for wear with the uniform?
When approved by commander.
Sure about that?
Yes.
Exposed pens in pockets are allowed in which uniforms?
Exposed pins in pockets. Are you talking about like on jacket tops or like in general? In general, yes, in the pocket, in the places where the pins are supposed to be at. I'm not sure what the question exactly was.
Which uniforms are you allowed to have exposed pens in?
None of them. First Army.
I got 4 right here.
None of them that I know of. First Army.
Okay. Soldiers will wear headgear with the Army uniform except under which circumstances?
Like normal duty headgear, or when it's a hazardous to the environment. When the commander tells you to take it off or authorizes everybody to take it off. or when you have cover over, like cover over the top.
So give me an example of the environment one.
In environment,
If it's hazardous to the environment.
hazardous environments, that some covers may be. So if it's very, very hot outside, sometimes the commander tells everybody to like, kind of like take your hat off, relax a little bit. That can be hazardous. Or when doing anything that the commander deems as hazardous, you can have to take it off.
Well, that's all I have for you.
Okay, we're gonna finish up with First Sergeant Newsom on the end.
How's it going, Sergeant Lawrence?
That's one person.
Alright, today I'm gonna be going over the Army, sustainment, the 8-step training model, and mission command. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Alright. What is mission command in your own words?
Mission command, in my own words, mission command is the authority. Yes. Mission command is the direction of authority given by commanders to enable the discipline initiative to his subordinate leaders using the mission orders to accomplish the mission.
Okay. How is trust gained or lost?
How is trust gained or lost?
Yes.
Trust is gained or lost with one's word.
Hmm?
With one's words. I'm not sure how it's trust.
Just put it in your own words, like, how do you think trust is gained and or lost?
Through consistency, first arm.
What is prudent risk?
Prudent risk, I can give an example first arm. So if you have a battle going on, the ratio is 3-to-1. The commander would naturally accept prudent risk, continue the battle knowing that people are going to die. So that's accepting prudent risk.
On the 8-step training model, which one's the most important to you?
Execution.
Execution, why is that?
Because ultimately the 8-step training model is how one will carry out something such as like a sergeant training, and the main goal of a sergeant training is to execute the sergeant training.
Okay. What's the 3rd step on the 8-step training model?
Recon the site.
Recon site. Can you give me all 8?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Plan, train the trainer, recon the site, issue the order, rehearse, execute, evaluate the training, and retrain.
Alright, we're gonna be moving over to the Army. How many campaign and battle streamers does the Army flag have?
Over 180 first arm.
Okay. What are the 5 essential characteristics of our profession?
I know the answer to that question first arm.
What are the 5 legal foundations of the Army soldier?
I'm not know the answer to that question first arm.
Alright, we're gonna move into sustainment. What covers sustainment?
ADP 4-0.
What three major elements of sustainment? What are the 3?
I know the answer to that question first arm.
Okay. What are some examples of logistics?
Some examples of logistics are deploying, so moving trucks from one place to another. Are you talking about like examples as in logistics or like different types of logistics?
Like just examples of logistics.
Okay, so from here to CTC rotation, from here to NTC, type of logistics for an aviation unit would be getting the aircraft there for one, getting the vehicles that we're going to be using there for another example. And the next example would be personnel. So personnel, equipment, and any other thing that you may need, moving it from one place to another.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, does anybody else have any questions for anything for Sergeant Lawrence? Sergeant Lawrence, do you have anything for the board or anything you'd like to address?
No, I don't, sorry, it's not at this time.
Okay, well, that's it for you, and you can step out, and we'll give you a minute.
Air assault,
Vote first.